Welcome to another session of the ATU Library Tutorial Series. In this topic, we are going to cover the American Psychological Association, the APA style that is used for citation and referencing. We are going to focus on the 7th edition because that is the current edition that we are using. However, we covered the basics of citation and referencing in one of our tutorial series on our YouTube channel. In this tutorial, we are going to cover two major things. One, the in-text citation, that is referencing sources within the text. And we are going to discuss referencing list or reference list. Note that all topics or all points to be discussed over here are strictly based on the APA style, that is the American Psychological Association. And note that it is the 7th edition. Now let's start with citation. Basically, you'll be writing your essay or your long essay, your thesis, and you'll be using materials to back your point. So we are saying that throughout your text of your paper, you need to acknowledge the works that you use in your writing. Normally, when you present a statement of evidence, such as quotes, or when you use someone else's ideas, theories, opinions, or even your own words in a paraphrasing form, you must acknowledge the work or the works by providing the author's name and the date of publication in text. Moreover, citation can be done in two ways. We have the narrative in-text citation and the parenthetical in-text citation. In our incoming slides, we'll get to know what actually the narrative in-text citation means, and also the parenthetical in-text citation. So in-text citation references sources within the text. If you use the name of an author or authors in your writing, we place the year of publication of the work in parentheses after the author's name. And this is known as the narrative in-text citation. So with this example over here, if you are using an author's name, or if you want to make a fact and you want to acknowledge the person that that fact is coming from, and you put the author's name at the beginning of the statement, and we have the year in brackets, in this form, we call it the narrative in-text citation. So we have Mullen 2006 conducted a research into the effect of, so what you have here is in-text citation, but because it's starting the statement, we call it the narrative type. Moreover, if you refer to a work in the text of your paper, if you are not using the author's name in your narrative as indicated above, now you place the author's name and the year of publication of the work in parentheses within or at the end of the sentence. Now, when you do that, the name is called the parenthetical in-text citation. So with what we have over here and with what we have over here too, you realize that in our second point, the name and the year of publication is placed at the end of the statement. The research conclusively proved a correlation between the results and from this particular author. Now, when the citation is presented this way, when the in-text citation is presented this way, that is when we call it the parenthetical in-text citation. Now, if a paraphrase or summary continues over several consecutive sentences, cite the work on first mention. It is not necessary to repeat a citation as long as it is clear to your reader that you are referring to the same way. So basically, you assuming you want to review a particular article, and you start with an example like this. FANG 2017 has collected new data on the implementation of renewable technologies in Europe. Because you are still reviewing that particular article, there is no need for you to repeat the author's name and the year over here. Once the subsequent information are coming from the same author, you are permitted to continue. So we have these same information coming from this particular author, but we did not repeat the author's name and the year of publication after our first mention. Because the information that we have over here still pertains to this particular author. Now, pay particular attention to the citation format required for references with multiple authors or editors. We will gradually come into that. And we use that of the ATU when we have 3 or more authors. Now, if you directly quote fewer than 40 words, take notes. If you are quoting fewer than 40 words directly, enclose the quotation using double quotation marks within the text. And that is an example that we have over here. The year of publication of the work along with the page number or page numbers of the quote should be provided in parentheses. So it was found that the correlation was statistically anomaly. So this is actually the quote. And because it is fewer than 40 words, we have it in quotation marks. That is double quotation marks. And we have the author's name, we have the year of publication, and we have the actual page number that we are quoting directly. Moreover, if the quotation is greater than 40 words, it should be displayed in a double-spaced indented block without quotation marks. And note that what we are doing here is the current edition of the APA style, the 7th edition. So with quotation that is greater than 40 words, that is how it should be presented. Double-spaced, take notes. So we have Mullen 2006 stated that, and we have the page number, the actual page number that the content is being quoted. If you use more than one source to write a statement in your paper, the citation can be presented using semicolons between works as follows. So this time around, looking at what we have, we are saying that we consider 2 articles or 2 materials or 2 publications, and we came out with this particular statement, assertion or fact. And so we have to acknowledge these materials. However, it's not only a single material, but 2 or more. How do you do that when it comes to the in-text citation? So we use semicolons between the works. And that is an example illustrated over here. So we have Sanders 2008. This is a semicolon. We have Smith 2009. Now, when you have 2 or more publications by the same author, that is how it should be presented. So we have Smith 2000 and the same Smith 2004. It means that the statement that you want to, or the fact that you want to capture in your write-up was gotten from these 2 materials or articles. But however, the publication or the materials or the articles are being authored by one person. And so when we are citing at a go, there's no need of you separating the same person. So we have Smith 2000 and Smith 2004. And that is the 7th edition format of the APA style. Take note of these 2. For different works by exactly the same author or authors published in the same year, what we want to lay emphasis is the same year. You should differentiate the works by including A, B, or C, etc. after the year when it's citing in-text. So we are using Jones. Jones has 3 publications in the same year, or 4 publications in the same year, 1999, 1999, 1999. So in a particular work, we decided to use all the publications published by Jones. Because they bear the same year of publication, 1999, in each that we use these letters to separate them. So the first one goes with A, the second one goes with B, and it follows in that order. Now, we move on to reference list. After citation, you have to provide a reference list. Now, when we talk about referencing, what does it mean? Now, we are saying that a reference list includes details of the work cited in your paper. Now, each item that you have cited in a reference list must have been cited in your paper. So when we are drawing or you are presenting your reference list, it should tally with the citation that you have in your document. That is why we are saying that each item cited in a reference list must have been cited in your paper. All sources appearing in the reference list must be ordered alphabetically by surname. Now, take note when it comes to the APA referencing style, there are one or two formats that you should be familiar with when referencing. Now, italics is a preferred format for titles of books, journals, and videos. So when we want to put down a book title, it should be italicized. Where the article is coming from, that is the journal, must also be what? Italicized. Now, article and chapter titles are not italicized. So take note. The title of an article is not italicized, but rather the journal that the article is coming from is italicized. Now, volume numbers are also italicized, but issue numbers are not. Take note of that. Now, the reference list should be with hanging indents, which will be illustrated very soon, used for the second and subsequent lines of each entry. A hanging indent is where the first line starts at the left margin and subsequent lines are indented. Let's continue with a referencing list. You want to talk about capitalization. And we are saying that capitalization in APA style is very specific. It follows a particular order. Now, for references, the following general rules apply. When you talk about book titles, you capitalize the first letter of the first word of the title and the first letter of the first word after a colon. So, a typical example, we are saying that capitalize the first letter of the first word of the title. So that is what we have over here. We capitalize the first letter of the first word of the title and the first letter of the first word after a colon. So with this particular example, we have the first letter of the first word being capitalized. Now, after the colon, we also have the first letter after the colon, the first letter of this word, which comes after the colon, also capitalized. And take note that we said earlier on that when it comes to titles of books, it should be what? Italicized. And that is what we have over here. Now, article, chapter, or section titles, take note of this. Capitalize the first letter of the first word of the title and the first letter of the first word after a colon. Now, the difference between this and that is with a book title, it's being italicized, but with the article or chapter titles, they are not what? Italicized. The first letter or the first letter of the first word is capitalized. The rest are not. So another letter comes after this colon. Now we have some examples of APA reference list. And what we have over here conforms to the 7th edition of the APA style. Now, when you are referencing a particular book and the book is being authored by one person, this is the format. So we have the title of the book being italicized as it follows, and we have where it is coming from, that is the publisher. We have two authors, and it follows the same approach. If the book that you are referencing comes in edition, that is how it is being presented. So this one is third edition, the title of the book, and we have what? The publisher, where it's coming from. Now, 21 or more authors, that is how it is being presented. But take note of this. Now, when we have authors less than 20, all the names do appear. However, if a source has 21 or more authors, we place 3 ellipsis points between the 19th and the final author name to indicate that some names have been omitted. So when we have more than 21 or more, so 21 or more, that is how it is presented. You place this ellipsis between the 19th and the final author. And this is how we see. So this is the 19th and this is the final author. And this ellipsis that you see over here means that some names have been what? Omitted. And this is the 7th edition style of the American Psychological Association. Now, if you want to reference a journal article, that is how the format will be like. So we have the title of the article should not be italicized. It is only the journal where it is coming from that is italicized. Now, volume numbers are italicized, but page issue numbers are not. So we have the title of the journal being italicized, the title of the article not being italicized, the volume italicized, and the issue number not. In situations where you have DOIs, that is how you have to present them. And this is the 7th edition way of the APA to present what? DOI. It should be in a link form. We start with the HTTPS, and it follows with the DOI. Now, this is the reference style for a newspaper article. This is the year, the month, and the day. And what we have over here is a title of the actual content in the newspaper. And the newspaper is the Guardian. And this is the website that we got our information from. There are a lot to be learned. ATU library tutorials. We'll be moving on to the differences between the 6th edition of the APA and that of the 7th edition of the APA. For now, kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel and don't miss any other tutorial from us. Thank you.